Hi, my name is Jill. You are here at Road Culture Rules, where we talk about all things road culture, meaning a mobile lifestyle, a mobile interior life, meaning you're on a journey. And today we're going to be going off-road a little bit. We're taking a little bit more of a pivot. I'm more than just a little bit nervous because, well, I'm going to be crossing a line today and I'm really not sure it's one we can go back over. So before we do that, because avoidance is a good technique, right? We're going to take a deep breath, hold for 4, exhale, and we're going to see you on the other side. So I don't really know any other way to do this than just to sort of have a conversation because, normally when I try to do some of these videos, I like to organize them, give you strategic points, things to think about, or, on Friday I just kind of yammer. So this is going to be sort of a combination of the two because I don't know how else to do this. And, the truth is, and I had put this in one of the comments below, is that at some point I need to come out of the closet, the spiritual closet, so to speak. And, I've been walking a line with you and the public arena for quite some time in terms of not wanting to be too controversial because just trying to find my way. This is all like a lot harder than you might think it is. And so, and I've shared before that my interaction with you tends to be, from my history, is I do really well one-on-one because I can adapt and adjust to who you are. And in this kind of forum, I do nothing but eventually kind of frustrate people or, people come and go. You're not telling them what they want to hear. It's just a temporary forum for, some insights related to that particular topic. And so it's a difficult arena to navigate, so to speak. But I use the word arena on purpose because at some point, you do have to step into the arena if you're going to make a stand. And I think we're there. I talked a little bit about Jordan Peterson last week. One of the things that he talked about that I thought was really important that hit me home is, who's going to stand up? Where are the sane women? So I just, to stand up to the craziness. And there's so much going on right now. The way that I liken it, what's going on in the world right now is the war has begun. There will be many battles to come. Everyone's going to have to pick a side, but we're not going to really understand that until we understand there are no sides. So there's a whole journey through the process of what's happening out in the world. And the second piece of what I believe is happening out there is there's the abstract, the big picture, the global picture. Civilization as a whole is shifting right now. There's always a pendulum that swings. Feminism is a pendulum. It's kind of gone off the deep end, which is normal. That's how the pendulum swings. But we all have our own personal experience within the bigger context, which just makes it really difficult to talk about these things because people tend to personalize based on the abstract. And the abstract big picture doesn't have very much to do with you. You're here for your own experience within that big picture. And that's what I'm trying to do here now. There's the big picture as I see it. There's me making videos kind of one-on-one with you. And then there's me and my life. And so how do all those things come together? I have no idea. But today is my attempt to sort of wade into those waters and get off the fence or cross the line or step over, so to speak. And the reason I, wanted to start with that idea with Jordan Peterson and where are all the sane women to address these crazy women is that I think that there are certain things only women can say, just like there's only certain things men can say. Just like with every group, there's only certain things you can say as that group, right? And just as a little bit of a history, I have felt compelled, I think, since I was 14 to be on this path. And I always thought I would be working with women in terms of empowering women. And that's always been in the back burner. I've worked on it kind of coming and going, with a lot of other information and ideas and projects and life, jobs, things like that. But I am, I kind of woke up to this whole what's happening to feminism thing a couple years ago. And my question is, why are the 30-year-old men out there, white men, why are 30-year-old white men out there talking about feminism. And then I learned there's 4 phases of feminism. And this isn't about feminism. It's about all of us. It's about what's going on with men and women, what's going on with our culture, what's going on with our society. And right, like what's going on? And there's so much anger and there's so much divisiveness. And the way I understand it is there's 3 things happening, or there's 3 levels to this that's going to be happening. And right now, we're kind of in the battle of nationalism and globalism, which really is the battle of centralized power and decentralized power. So people are having to choose, do you want to have a more Marxist, communist, socialist, democratic, centralized power, so you govern from the top down, or do you want decentralized power where you govern from the bottom up? So that's one split. And I think our world right now is in battle for that. But that's really only phase 1. And phase 2, which I think is the next battle, is what I would say it's humanity versus technology or artificial intelligence. And we're just moving slowly into that because we haven't really resolved this centralized, decentralized power issue. And so we're moving into this next phase. I know, like, what does this have to do with men and women, right? We're getting there. And then after that is the last battle will be between light and dark, good and evil, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the love and fear. That the truth and the bottom line to the third battle is really truth versus illusion. And most of the people, we think we just want to jump to the end, so we spout out phrases like, everything's an illusion and only love exists. And it's really easy to spout out spiritual truths and think that you're all enlightened. It's a whole nother thing to get into the arena, which brings me back to women, men and women, what's going on in the world, and this moment, and how there was just, there was sort of this moment a week ago, a little over a week ago, where I don't hear a lot in terms of direct spiritual direction, but I kind of heard something pretty clear, and I heard it again with more clarity this morning. And, I always thought I would be somebody that would be, I always have the warrior thing going on. I didn't follow the traditional woman's path, where I never wanted to have kids. I never really cared about getting married. I didn't have that spark. I had the never-ending hero's journey of mythology that I'm still on. I've never deviated from that path. And I think what people don't realize, and here in an oversharing moment, is when people say, what are you doing? This is it, man. I am in the desert still trying to find what is the truth. I am wandering in that way, and I have spent and committed my life and all my money to this. That's the other thing people don't realize. You don't get to do this stuff for free. You're not floating around. I made choices, and the choices were always the truth. And, when I hear someone like Jordan Peterson and Camille Paglia talk about where are the sane women, I'm like, exactly. It's been kind of an adjustment for me to understand that I am not going to be the warrior person that I totally am inside, but I am at a different level, and that really is the mental and the emotional component of it. And what I see as coming down the pike is it's not about men or women, it's about the integration of the masculine and the feminine within us, and then creating new systems outside that can adjust and adapt as we grow up and evolve into something much more profound. One of the things that is so essential to that component, and this is something I'll talk more about, is that the word love has completely been hijacked to where we equate it with sex and romance. And that gets, into the male-female thing, as we're focused on that relationship with each other as what love is. And that is so not what love is. Love is, what my understanding, it's the force that holds the entire universe together. And as we move into this next battlefield or war, beyond the power battle between technology and then humanity, that's not something that we're going to be able to fight on land or with our body. That is going to be a fight for our heart, and our weapon is going to be our mind. And my understanding of what love is by also what it's not. It never wavers, it never leaves, it never judges, and it never attacks. And the other component of that is it's invulnerable, it is constant, it is absolute, and it is unconditional. And my question is to men and women is, what would your life be like if you had a force like that standing behind you that never shifted? And my goal is to figure out how to be that within this format. I have no idea if I'm going to actually upload this. I don't think there's a battle coming. I think we're already in the war, whether you're paying attention or not. And what I have learned about myself is I am always, out of 100 people, I am the one person that will stand up and say what you're not supposed to say. But like I said last time, I've become kind of comfortable and complacent and not ready to take this next step. I think it's time. I think it's time to be the sane person who says the next set of ideas as we move beyond the battle between centralized and decentralized power. There's a much bigger battle coming. And the way that, in the smallest way that that affects those of us who want to be nomadic, is, driverless technology. The next step is to take away our right to be mobile and to travel independently. And so you may not care about any of this, but you might care about that. So that's the little introduction that I want to offer up today. We'll see where we go with this tomorrow. If there is a tomorrow, if I even upload this. But before we go, we're going to take one more deep breath for the road, as I hope you will rise with the sun in your eyes, love in your heart, feet firmly on the ground, as together we're walking on survival road, baby, because that is what is coming. I think this is all just begun. I haven't entered the battlefield, so to speak, on the power struggle, but I think when it comes to humanity, the solution to that is love, and I think that is something I am here to talk about. So with that, we'll see you next time.